Is it just me, but this whole Loki character in Elbaf kind of reminds me of Kazuki Oden. Maybe I'm crazy, but Oda usually hypes up these flashback characters like not Calgera, Nolan, and then we don't get to see them in the main storyline. But it's kind of like Oda's like, yeah, I'm gonna bring a flashback character into the main storyline. That's sort of the vibe I'm getting. I'm getting low-key Kazuki Oden vibes here, and I love it. Is that weird to say? But I love it. One Piece and Elbaf has been on fire, especially latest chapters with low-key hype. It's just going insane. And then I also have to talk about some of the SBS stuff from Eustace Kid lore all the way to Kaido and Warlord's lore as well, revolved around page 102, who surprisingly is a part of the main cover story. Then there's Yamato too as well, but I'll say that for another video I want to talk about in the future. But yeah, there's also the Lakers, like One Piece and Lakers collaboration is insane. But we're gonna first talk about this week's chapter, and then I'm gonna give my thoughts a little bit on last week's chapter. I missed the chapter video too, guys, so I'm gonna give my thoughts a little bit about that, and then of course I'll talk about the SBS and end the video off. And it's gonna be great because after this chapter video, a lot of high-end quality videos coming out, so turn on notification if you're a big fan of the channel, because you will not miss some crazy videos. But this is just more discussion, more like relaxed in a sense. The first thing I want to talk about is Loki. The power that Loki has while still being cuffed to cease Prism Stone on his leg. We see Loki hit the Atom Tree with lightning. With his Ragnar hammer, lightning comes down and sparks the Atom Tree. What the hell? This guy is too broken, Oda, but I get it. I get why he's so broken, because we just came off of Wano and Egghead Island. You have to understand, Wano had some of the strongest characters in this series seen when it comes to Big Mom, when it comes to Luffy, when it comes to Kaido. You have to top that. And then you come to Egghead Island, where we have Admiral Kizaru and Luffy going at it with Saturn and the rest of the Gorosei, like, and Joy Boy's Hockey even had an appearance. Even seeing fights like Shanks versus Kid, Blackbeard versus Law, Garp versus Aokiji, Sabo versus Imu. Oda's not playing around, so Elbaf needed a hype character, and Oda's only gonna bring the hype stronger and stronger. Now, of course, some people are like, yo, Loki is above Kaido. I'm thinking, relax, slow down. Loki is hype. He's Oz size. He looks cool. He looks epic. We haven't even seen his full capabilities of his power. But the thing is, you have to understand with Loki is he does have a limit or a cap, because we know Shanks beat him 6 years ago. So if Shanks beat him 6 years ago, now I'm not saying that Kaido is stronger than Shanks, but I'm saying that Kaido is around Shanks' level. I think Shanks is stronger, just my humble opinion, but still, I think that you have to look at Loki as right now he's probably below Kaido, but he's close to Kaido. We do, unless we see the fight of Shanks. If Shanks just one-shots this guy, then he's not even close. But if Shanks actually had to fight and it was a difficult fight, then it makes Loki's stocks go higher, and Loki could be around Luffy level, which would just be insane to see. But he's a very important character, so I would love it. Now, probably my main video is going to be about Loki this week, and I'm probably going to talk about the monsters. And Miss Anji explains that the kids' fears are pretty much all these monsters, from Loki to Nika. Like, those two just stood out right away. Then you have Fener, the wolf, that was epic too, and the dragon from the freaking mural, the Imu dragon from the first world. The flying bird looks like to be a Gorosei, Mars. A lot of interesting as well, like the ghost, the zombie. Now, the ghost, I'm not too sure, but the zombie makes me think of the Venus Juru, and then the storm makes me think of Zeus. So a lot of lore here, but I don't want to go too into depth with these monsters because I have a whole video about it. So you guys turn notification. This week we'll have some good content, guys. I'm telling you, I'm not playing around now. Then we see Killingham making the kids fall asleep with some unique power. We know he has some sort of mythical power because he's never been in human form. And then Summers, who looks like, I'm gonna be honest with you, Summers looks stronger than Killingham right now, just from the way that Oda is projecting it. But I don't want to go jump the gun. But he's making these monsters, and he says love is to hurt one another, and asks Gunko what she fears, and she says Nika. So let's analyze this a little bit, yo. Gunko seems to be a different type of holy knight than we know about. I personally feel like she's more connected to Imu, because why would she be so scared of Nika? Like, who instilled that in her? And she has that arrow power that reminded me of Nika, not Nika, reminded me of Imu when Imu was fighting Sabo. So I think Gunko is something that we really gotta harbor on now. Like, Summers looks to be the strongest of the three holy knights that are there right now, but yeah, Gunko is the most interesting. and Killingham has a crazy mythical power as well. And of course, we know Shamrock is not there. He went back all the way to the Holy Land to report. So this is good. This is good, guys. This is really good for One Piece Elbaf. Elbaf arc is looking to be probably one of the greatest arcs in One Piece, if I'm being honest, just from the beginning. Then we see a pretty cool moment in the chapter where we have Principal Kiba, a new character that looks to have walrus teeth, and he hits the snake that seems to be the serpent that everyone knows the theories of Loki and that snake, but that's another video for another day. And then Saul comes out of nowhere from the top and hockeys up his arm and punches the snake with some sort of exorcism. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. Saul is a former vice admiral, one of the stronger giants already, because he's a former vice admiral. All vice admirals have been confirmed to have observation armor haki. But the reason why Saul is so powerful is because look at all the giants we've seen so far. We've seen Hiruden and his crew. Hiruden got beat by Luffy in base form during Dressrosa. Saul has haki and he's a giant, and we already seen him lift up that warship back in the days. I'm gonna be honest with you, right now, I think the only giants that can maybe be stronger than Saul is Dory and Bragi, because they have some sort of concept when it comes to haki. They're the only giants I've seen some sort of concept with haki. And then of course we all know that Loki's the strongest, and I want to see how strong Harold was as well. Jaro probably is back in the day strong, but yeah, Saul really makes me think, wow, like this guy is such like a scholar, but he's still one of the strongest giants on Elbaf, and I love it. I love Oda adding that haki element to it. We also see Loki threatening to destroy Elbaf as he knows Elbaf's weakness, as he towers over Hiruden. And I'm not really the biggest fan of like size comparisons. Like I already know like Zunisha's pretty huge, Sanwan Wolf. Like I get it. There's a lot of big things. Oz Jr., Oz. There's a lot of big creatures in One Piece. But I'm gonna be honest with you. Loki having the legendary Del Fruit, having the 2.6 billion berry bounty, having the lore of fighting Shanks, having the lore of what he did in Elbaf, and then having that Ragnar hammer, and then you add on to that him being that big as well. Oda, like this is the one time I'm actually going to be highlighting size. This is insane how he's towering over his brother, his older half brother. He's towering over him. Now I know why Loki is so hated by the other giants, because he's the biggest giant on Elbaf. Now some minor details in the chapter that I thought I should discuss as well. Yamato, Thunder, Bagwing, Who's Who. I already know the discussion is going to be who's the strongest flying six, getting one shot by Yamato, Thunder, Bagua, when of course the ulti survived it. Now let me say this, yo, we still haven't seen the repercussions of Who's Who getting Thunder Bagua by Yamato, but I will say this though, you have to understand, Yamato's a Kankisaki coding user. Like she fought Kata 1v1. Like she's insanely powerful. So I'm gonna cut Who's Who some slack. I still think he's the strongest flying six, but this does help the ulti campaign. Ulti has a strong campaign. Honestly, I think ulti has the strongest campaign to be the strongest flying six after Who's Who, and it's surprising because ulti right now is in a very vulnerable situation. Like it looks like Who's Who definitely defeated her, but we don't know the details yet. I still think that if I had to rank the flying six, if I'm being completely honest, number one for me would be Who's Who. Number two would probably be ulti. Number three would be X Drake. Number four would probably be Black Maria. Actually, maybe Black Maria and Sasaki tie, and then Page one at the end. That's how I'd rank it. Jormungandr, or whatever how you pronounce it. The kids pretty much talk about this running serpent from the third most, like honestly this serpent, they're running away from this crazy serpent that looks to be from the first world. And if I'm being honest, this serpent that we're getting names of, I believe Dory and Bragi kind of referenced it on Little Garden. It's probably the third most important mythical creature, if I'm just being honest, guys. It's the third most mythical after Emu's dragon form and of course Luffy's Nika form. You gotta put this serpent as the third most important mythical creature. Now, if Loki has power or not, that's another question. But still, I think that Oda really is going to his mythical bag in this arc. I thought it was pretty cool how we got new teachers like Mr. Breed, Mr. Kiba. We already knew Miss Angie. They're having this teachers meeting, and you have to understand with the whole like everyone knows the parent teachers meeting and whatnot, and like the teachers office room where they all gather with their coffee. Like, so I thought it was pretty cool seeing the teachers, these giant teachers, just teaming up to seemingly try to solve this issue of monsters running around. And then Principal Kiba, we find out that he's a former giant warrior pirate, so there's definitely some lore with this principal. He's definitely gonna be an important Elbaf character, and his back is hurting from doing that attack, so he's obviously retired, but he definitely has some aura. I gotta give respect to this guy. Principal Kiba has some aura when it comes to his power. Also, I found it hilarious how Mr. Wolf, this PE teacher, like you think of all the teachers, the strongest would be the PE teacher, the gym teacher. No, he gets packed out with off screen, guys. Like, that is just funny to me. I don't know what it was. It made me laugh in the chapter. I don't know if you guys found that funny as well. But yeah, that's my thoughts on this chapter. I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed this chapter, and it gave me a lot of video ideas. So if a chapter gives me a lot of video ideas, I even love it even better. Now, I did promise you guys I would talk about the chapter before because I did miss the video. So I'll do it quickly. I won't do it too long, because I know you guys hate when someone's late, and I'm like 2 chapters back. So let me just talk about this real quickly, and I'll give my honest thoughts right away when it comes to this chapter. First thing first, Loki wakes up, and it's an epic panel just towering over Luffy, Loki swore he was injured. He already tricked Luffy. Hiruden says put Ragnar down, aka the Iron Thunder. Yeah, only Shanks could defeat him. This is what Scott Vaughn said, and yeah, I get it. The size of this guy is massive, so I thought that was cool. The way that Oda hyped up Loki's return was pretty cool in the last chapter. I thought it was funny also how Zoro took over after seeing Loki's massive size, comparing it to the ancient giant Oz. Seems like Loki has a lot of ancient blood in him. I want to see if his mom was maybe an ancient giant blood as well, because look how big he is. And then Zoro kicks him in the stomach like he's Sanji or something. Talk about heartless, but we need this because Luffy sometimes gets too soft and nice and naive. So we need that Zoro logical, throwing away any sense of, like, how to say this, morals. We need this right now from Zoro, like, because it's moments like this where you just need it, guys. Also, the last chapter, the most important thing from the last chapter is Jaro saying he's into older women. This is obviously a reference to Mother Caramel. And I'm just thinking, what is going on with this guy, Harold? Like, are they traitors? Like, what's going on? And maybe Big Mom was right. Like, you guys all know the guts and Griffin was right meme. Like, maybe Big Mom was right. I might do a video about that, saying Big Mom was right. Like, I would've gotta chill with these, like, crazy plot twists. Like, we already got that with Kanjuro and Wano, but this one is gonna be insane. And then Ripley kind of built up this last chapter by saying Elbaf's biggest weakness is lightning and fire. And the first thing I thought about was maybe Enel. Then I thought about Sabo. I also thought about Sanji as well. He's fire-based attacks. Loki, now we see on the last chapter. And the Holy Knights, pretty much, the Holy Knight is definitely going to have some fire, lightning, some sort of attacks like that. So yeah, I just remember, like, this is insane. Remember, guys, remember this moment of her saying this, Ripley, because it's becoming a factor. Even Loki mentioned it. Like, Elbaf's biggest weakness is environment. It kind of reminded me how, like, the dark continent, the biggest danger of the dark continent is the environment. So I think that this is also a cool concept that Oda's adding into it, because he never really did this for a lot of arcs, like arc island weaknesses. He's never done this before. I think Zoro made a smart move by leaving the sea stone on his leg. Like, that Loki can still do damage, but I think it was cool. Luffy wants to find a doctor and like give him meat, and this is why I love Luffy, because he's naive, but it's like seeing this is like, it shows Luffy is a good person. Yeah, good people get abused and taken for granted and everything, but you still gotta respect good people at the end of the day. You know, even if they're not using their brain, they're just good-hearted people, and that's why I love Luffy. This is why my favorite character. And honestly, he's not the smartest guy. Yo, he never uses logic, but I appreciate Luffy for who he is. He's a GOAT character. And quickly, I'll talk about some minor moments of this chapter. Like, it reminded me of Marineford when we saw the giants, pirates falling down, and Sanji falling as well. I think Oda doing Sanji like this is really good. He did not leave out Sanji from this great monster trio moment. And then they're falling from the sky. It looks like they're about to die. Like, I noticed this is a thing in One Piece. Like, when it comes to falling from great heights equals automatic death. This happened with Big Mom falling from Whole Cake Island. So Oda definitely likes to add this touch. Makes people think about, oh, did God and Big Mom die when they got sent to the ground? And then, of course, Luffy does the biggest balloon ever, showing his growth as a Yonko, literally and figuratively. I loved it. And then, of course, Hiruden went to Luffy and said, yo, Loki is my brother. And pretty much says he's an evil guy. Since he was a kid, he always lied. When you wanted something, he would act real nice, but that's not the real Loki. So we're getting a lot of good, it's minor moments, but we're getting a lot of good build up when it comes to Loki as a character. But yeah, guys, let me talk about the SBS real quickly, because it was really good. Now, not a lot of information, if I'm being completely honest. It's not a lot of information when it comes to SBS, but we got some information on Eustace Kid, and I'll talk about that. It obviously goes back to Eustace Kid and how he got the the road poneglyph, because a lot of people were kind of confused about that. So guys, I'm going to quickly talk about the SBS to end off this video. I talked about a lot of stuff, guys, like the whole Laker collab, the One Piece chapter, the One Piece chapter before that, but I'm going to end off with this SBS 111, and I want to talk about how Oda does use this kid in this SBS. He kind of confirms that a kid attacked one of Big Mom's warships, defeated the commanding officer Snack, and stole a copy of the Road Poneglyph. Now, me personally, I have mixed feelings about this. As a kid fan, I was hoping it would be Smoothie. I was hoping it would be one of the, at least even Cracker, one of these stronger Sweet Commanders. But at least as a kid fan, I'm happy that he took out one of the Sweet Commanders, one of the top Yonko Commanders of Big Mom's crew. Now, I must admit though, Snack is not having a great resume because he got defeated by Mad Monk Rouge. So now we're thinking Mad Monk Rouge and Kid are probably comparable in power. This also hypes up Rouge's power, honestly. But yeah, Snack, you're just a walking L. But I thought it was cool that Oda did this in SBS. He's kind of giving Kid some hype. It's a little bit of hype, but it's like, Oda, bro, like, you want this guy to be a rival. Like, of all the Supernova War generation, you only thought about him when it comes to, other than Luffy and Zoro. Kid was the only one thought of. I mean, other than Blackbird too as well. But I'm saying that the Kid was the only one Supernova thought of. And then he pretty much gives him nothing. Like, Law has been way better when it comes to portrayal. So yeah, Oda also confirms that Hafunada, or whatever his name is, Hafnanda, whatever the frick his name is, Hafunda, whatever his name. Hafunda is Ulti in Page 1's father. I know I butchered his name, but I don't care. Hafunda is Ulti in Page 1's dad. He's the former warlord that was taken out by Ace. And Oda, I see you're really exposing a lot of things that could be done in the main story. What is going on? This would have been hype in Wano, like knowing that their father was a former warlord. Like, that would have been cool to see. And we got the full flashback of Hanafuda, or whatever his name is. Yeah, I butchered it last time, but whatever. As pirates, he clashed with Kaido in the past, but ultimately formed an alliance due to their shared goal. He had such faith in Kaido that he entrusted his own children to him. Even his hobby of collecting Zoan fruits were meant to help strengthen the beast pirates. Hanafuda was among the many who were captivated by Kaido's strength and gave him their all to help him ascend to the throne of Pirate King. After being defeated by Ace and banished from the warlords, he was killed by pirates that held a grudge against him while on his way to reunite with his children. Now, this probably is before Moria fought Kaido. The reason why I say this is because Page 1 Ulti are around like 20 years old, I think. So that means this guy's been with Kaido for at least 25-30 years probably. So this is probably when Roger's alive. So I'm gonna cut Kaido some slack for not utterly destroying Hafunada. He probably did do it, but Oda's not doing it in the portrayal right now. But yeah, I think it's cool seeing this flashback. It's good to see. It kind of makes Kaido look cool, I'm gonna be honest with you, but like, it's like, why not add this in the flashback of Kaido? Like, I get it, Oda is in a rush and everything, that's why I have to respect it, but Oda, this content, we as fans love it, guys. We love it. Like, we want more. Take your time. We want more, guys. Like, honestly, yes, the ending of One Piece needs to be happening. Like, if One Piece doesn't end, it'll be very sad, but the journey is what really matters, guys. Honestly, the journey. Like, some people don't even care about the One Piece treasure being revealed. Some people just want to see these hype moments. So Oda, yeah, it's kind of crazy to say this, but I'm critiquing Oda by telling him that we love his content so much, we want more of it. So it's not really a critique, it's more so giving Oda that respect. But yeah, the SBS was good, and this is my last video. How do I say it? It's not really last video, but the next couple of videos are gonna be way more high-end quality. The editing wasn't that good this video, so I apologize. But yeah, guys, I am out.